Hi, and welcome to another Get At It Gaming podcast special. We usually call these like the movies, but this really isn't a movie. Not really.
It's not a movie. I don't think so.
No. And that was, you know, my person of interest, my person of gets me in trouble all the time. Well, not really, but that was Alex. Alex, how are you?
Hello, hello. You stole my
Uh,
thing.
I, I did, didn't I? I
I
did
think
it a
I,
couple
I
times.
think you said hello, hello. So
I might have. I said person of interest, meaning that you were like some sort of suspect in a crime or something. But
I mean, I hope I'm not.
I'm waiting for the feds to bust through as we're talking. But
Yeah.
anyway, today we're going to talk about Cobra Kai, um, the once YouTube exclusive, which is now on YouTube, not on YouTube, but Netflix, and blew up on Netflix. And season 4 is right around the corner. So we've already done a Karate Kid, so we figured let's do a Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
So
Um
yeah, it's exciting.
it is. So I'm curious how you first got into this. So for me, I saw this being shown off like from someone. I forget what, but it was on YouTube Red. At the time, YouTube Red, and they changed the name to YouTube Premium. I wonder why. Maybe because of some like adult site that is very close to Red. But anyway, yeah. So it was originally on YouTube, and I saw it, and you could get YouTube, and I think it's Spotify, if I remember correctly, or Google Music or something like that. And you could get them together, and it was like $6 a month. So that's
Yeah,
how I watched the first season of Cobra Kai, because I really wanted to watch it since I was a big fan of the Karate Kid trilogy, as you heard on the previous episode. So that's how I watched it. I watched it approximately like when it came out, like that June, like after all the episodes were out. Um, and then I never watched season 2 because I quit my YouTube um subscription, and then I thought about doing it later, and I never did. But then yeah, it popped up on Netflix, and that's where I just rewatched the whole thing, and then found out, oh, there's a season 3. Okay, that's coming out. Okay, cool. And then yeah, so now this is like one of my favorite shows. It's very it's very juvenile. I will say,
oh yeah,
like it's
yeah.
just like very Dawson's Creek or Degrassi type stuff.
It does give you that CW vibe, does it
It
not?
it does, and I think it does more in the beginning, but then once it
Yeah.
becomes a Netflix show, like by the time it hits season 3, you're like, oh, okay, they actually know what they're doing, or like it seems to be there's more production value here. Um, they seem to realize who their main audience is clearly. Um, but yeah, did you watch it originally on YouTube, or did you just start this all on
Um,
Netflix?
I was excited when it came out. Yeah, I saw the video for it, and I was excited, but I didn't want to get YouTube Red, and there was like a free week or a free month of
Mm-hmm.
YouTube Red, and so that was really the only big show on there I wanted to watch. So I got through season 1 and part of season 2, and it ended, and then um, Netflix bought the rights, and I was like, about time because the YouTube Red wasn't bad, but for money wise, Netflix would have put the proper amount of director, choreography and all that, and money into the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually watched all season 1 and season 2, and then season 3 came out, and I watched all of that, all on Netflix. Um, I love the show. I think the Karate Kid is a thing from my childhood that I remember going to go see. Um, but I think the other thing is season 1 was very Dawson's Creek, like you said. But I think the reason I loved it is because you're seeing these people that you remember from the 80s in the movies, and they're showing up. And how have their lives have changed. So
Yeah,
I'm kind of excited. We should just dive in. Let's talk about season one.
for sure. I think we should. So yeah, this is really it's really a sequel to the first Karate Kid. All the
Yes.
other so this is what it seems like for the most part. The first movie, yeah, is a sequel, or the first season is really a sequel to the first movie, and then eventually it's kind of like a 2 and 3 by the time it hits like the third season. It's kind of both. Um and then the newest season might be more of a 3 as well. But yeah, so this is 30 years afterwards. So it's set in present day time, at least as of when this was recording originally started. And yeah, it focuses on Johnny Lawrence. So, the kid from who was working in the Cobra Kai dojo and everything, and just seeing how his life is just not great. It seems to
Yeah.
be kind of his own doing as well, but you still feel bad for the guy. Like he is clearly the villain. They're both kind of villains, honestly, but he's
Yeah.
a villain of the show. But you're empathizing and sympathizing with the villain of the show. Like, he's just washed up. He is a loser. He is an alcoholic. He is a bunch of things, and you see Daniel LaRusso from the Karate Kid trilogy, who we've talked about a lot, and he is very successful. He owns a car dealership. I forget what's called. It's probably like LaRusso Motors or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Okay, cool. That's what I was thinking.
Good
Uh,
guess. Good guess, by the
yeah,
way.
and yeah, so he has that, and then I love the infomercial, like uh the car dealership commercials where he's like, you gotta kick out the competition and like karate chop, because like that's his whole shtick. Everyone knows him over there in LA and everything, just as the winner of the All Valley Karate Tournament.
Right.
So that's really all he's really done with his life, is just do karate. And then Miyagi gave him one of those cars, and at this time, since Pat, Mr. Miyagi, was passed away, he's not in the show. So instead, like, they talk about him a lot as if like he did die in the show's universe.
Yeah.
um but yeah, it's, I mean, Miyagi had a ton of cars. So like it makes sense of that's how Daniel fell in love with cars. Because I mean, we talked about it in the previous episode, but like Miyagi gave him his first car because he's like, oh, choose one of these, you can take it. And yeah, he also, Daniel gives away like a bonsai tree with like every sale
Yep.
essentially too. Like,
See,
I don't know if Miyagi would like all of this, or if he would feel
yeah,
like it's too like businessy
I feel
corporate.
I feel like this is the cheesy part. These are the cheesy parts when he's like talking about like those infomercials where he's like kicking and it's like really bad
Yeah, very
choreography.
very bad special effects and
Yeah.
everything.
But
Very
what
local.
I will say, which is cool, is as bad as Johnny's life is. You know, he he he's trying to just get by to the next day. That's all he's trying to do. He lives, believe it or not, he lives, I think, in the same apartment complex that Daniel was living in with his mom. I
They
think,
can be, because they tore it down in the third one. Remember?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's like that.
It
It's
looks very
not a,
similar. Yeah.
yeah, it's very similar. He's still driving the same car from high school.
Yep.
But like, and all these things start happening. Like, he gets damage to his car, and Daniel LaRusso's daughter happens to be in the car, which he didn't know.
Yep.
Um, he gets into a fight with some kids. They were picking on another kid.
Yeah.
And a lot of this at the beginning, it seems an awful lot like Karate Kid, just flip side, except for the
And
swearing and the
more aggressive as well, because
right.
like I don't know, because with Miyagi, like um Johnny and all of them were like antagonizing Miyagi first, and then Miyagi fought them for defense. But then with with the other kids, Johnny notices them picking on another kid, and he just like goes at them, like doesn't even give them
Yeah,
a chance or anything. Doesn't say like go away. He's like, hey, you need to pick on someone your own size, and then just starts like beating them. Um,
it's funny because the guy that plays Johnny Lawrence is actually a very good martial artist.
yeah.
And so it was cool to see him do this, but I think it's even better is like, the kid that was getting picked on lives in his apartment complex, actually the apartment right across from him. So, um, he was asking him, the next day about, hey, how'd you learn that? Can you teach me? He's like, no, no. But I think when all this stuff starts happening and, he has to take his car to get fixed, and the only place to go is LaRusso's.
Yep.
And he was like, I just want to get in and out and all this crap. And it's just like an awkward thing when, Daniel's got his
Yeah.
salespeople goes, hey, that's the guy, I kicked his butt at the tournament, you know?
Yeah. He's like
Um,
with an illegal kick or something.
oh no, he's like, the guy's like, didn't he kick your butt? He goes, technically I kicked him in the face,
Yeah.
like so cheesy. But like, I think that's when Johnny's like, God, my life sucks. I want to do something different. And he starts teaching Miguel, and it kind of goes from there. But I do see the similarities between Johnny and Mr. Miyagi. Now, Mr. Miyagi was very wholesome, very much like, a grandfather, best friend sort of thing, as where Johnny's like kind of an asshole.
Mhm.
um, you know, also, I want to mention real quick is Johnny has like no idea of technology in this time period.
It's so
Like,
funny. Like the
yeah,
first time I was like, all right, this is a dumb joke. But then they just keep going at it, and he's like, it doesn't have internet. Did you pay for internet, or like do you have Wi-Fi? What?
yeah,
Or like Facebook and stuff, and then he started like looking at people and doing things, and he didn't realize like people could see what he was doing and what he was liking.
yeah. I think that's where it starts to get really cool in this first season. Um, the big outcome is he's like, I'm gonna reopen Cobra Kai
Mm-hmm.
with one student, which is Miguel, and that's it.
Yeah.
Until Miguel beats up the bullies that started a fight with him earlier, and now these like all these people want to be in Cobra Kai.
Yeah, like I mean, the main reason why Cobra Kai restarted though wasn't just the Miguel thing. It was that like Johnny didn't mess up his last job, but like that person, like he was basically like a handyman again, but like he installed a TV in the wrong
Oh
place.
yeah,
Apparently, like even though like he's like, no, you told me this one. She's like, no, it's this one. Do it again, and then he just like flips her off or something, or I don't know, like calls her a bitch or something like
I think he
that.
calls her a dumb bitch. Yeah,
Yeah, and then he gets fired. And he's like, but she was. um, but yeah, so like he has nothing. He even goes to like this is cool, giving him character development because you always thought of like him living in Encino and all this other stuff, like being a rich kid, especially from the first movie. Um, you just assume that he's just from wealth, but it's actually like his like abusive stepfather who like just gave him a check. He's like, I want you out of my life, Johnny, get out of my life, here's this check. And he's like, I don't need the check, and he rips it up. But he puts it in his pocket still or something. And then like once he figures out all of this, then like what he wants to do and what he can do to help out Miguel and others and see like, oh, this is a viable business operation. Then he like tapes the check back and he just like writes on it and cashes it and gets gets Cobra Kai started again in just the same exact location.
I think my favorite part is when they get the signs up, and he's teaching. Daniel pulls up at a stoplight, and they're playing this like really happy music, and
Yeah.
he sees that Cobra Kai,
Yep.
and then his face just drops.
Yep.
Like, it's like bringing up all the old memories, and the best part is they use flashbacks from the movies, which is
Hmm.
great. Um, and so now his whole thing is like, I got to make sure this doesn't happen, you
Hmm.
know, which is crazy because so far there's been no instigation from Johnny. He's not started anything. Um, I know that this is a traumatic thing that happened in his life, but initially they've not done anything wrong. So this is where I feel like the show starts taking a twist, where Daniel's got a lot of money, he's rich,
Yeah.
and now Johnny's just trying to make his life, and so Daniel is trying to get this business closed.
Yeah, by any means necessary, because he's just like, no, Cobra Kai's bad. It's all this. Something about Kreese, and he's like, Kreese isn't even here. Um, like this is all me. Like I'm doing this, whatever. Deal with it. And once he starts getting more students and stuff, he tries to enter them into the All Valley, and they like, apparently Cobra Kai has a lifetime ban,
Yep,
and uh LaRusso is he's
he's on
on
the
the
board.
board.
Yep,
Yeah. So he's like, no, we can't. Like, no, this guy is bad news or something. He says like something stupid like that. He says like bad news or something.
I
Um,
know he said there was like, this is the guy that bullied me through high school. Like, I'll be honest, if I was on a board and someone said that, I'd be like, it's irrelevant to what's going on right now.
yeah.
And all Johnny's trying to do is like literally get his life like straight, you know?
He
And
is like in his weird way. Like he's still very much a he's not as much of an alcoholic, but like he's still very much a substance abuser. Um and everything, but he's getting better because of Miguel. He's learning a lot from Miguel, which is very much the Daniel of this series. Like in like a weird way, yeah. Like we talked about earlier with the first fight, but like Johnny is the Miyagi um to Miguel. So it's just very interesting to see, yeah, a I don't know, a mean Miyagi
yeah,
do
I
things.
I think the big twist for me in season one was Daniel's gonna start teaching or whatever. I'm pretty sure that was season one, yeah.
Yeah, near the end,
And
yeah.
and so, I think that's, to me, that is, he's like, I wanna start teaching again. He's trying to get his daughter, and she's like, "No, we're good."
Yeah.
Um, but, like, I think when the season ends, you know, we ended a good note. Like, we both know that they don't like each other. They're both trying to do things, and I think that's right before, the tournament. Wait,
I think it ends with the
was it,
tournament.
yeah, because Daniel was teaching, Johnny's son.
Which is a plot point that I hate. Also,
Yeah,
that kid looks like what's his face? Sean from Boy Meets
yeah, he
World.
does, he does.
Every time I look at him, I'm just like, oh hey, it's you. But it's just like a different you. Um but
Yeah,
like
and
I don't know, it's just a really dumb plot point.
it is. I will say that the stuff that me and Alex are probably not gonna talk about are the weird, like, teeny things that happen, like, you know, like Daniel's daughter starts dating Miguel. There's some jealousy on that. I'm not gonna
I
go through that because
I
that
will
part
say though, they do go to the golf place from the first movie. So I did like that.
that was kind of nostalgic.
Yeah.
Uh, but as Daniel's training, Johnny's son, they get ready to enter the tournament because no way in hell is Daniel's gonna let Cobra Kai go in and ruin it.
Yeah.
Uh, which, by the way, I thought the tournament was awesome. I think that was like that whole feel of Cobra Kai in Karate Kid. The only difference is they weren't as big of jerks as they were in the movie. I think there's
Yeah.
even I think there's even a point. I don't know if it was excuse me. I don't know if it was Hawk or it was Miguel. Somebody throws an illegal punch, and Johnny's like, "Hey, we don't win that way."
Yeah, it was Hawk, cuz like Yeah, so during this whole process, like, yeah, they get a bunch of to kind of go back a little bit. Yeah, they get a bunch of like nerdy kids because no one wants to do karate except all these nerdy kids who want to learn how to self-defend and beat up other bullies. So then there's like this really nerdy kid who changes his personality because he has like a lip thing or something, and then they
Like
just
a
keep,
cleft lip or something like
yeah,
that.
and they keep making fun of him. And then he's like, do something different. And then he just like gets a huge mohawk. And then he's hawk. And then he gets a tattoo of like an eagle or like an actual like hawk on the back of his on his
Yep.
back.
I thought that
And
was like okay, this is just silly now.
yeah, exactly. Like it's too far. Like how would you do this? Um, but yeah, and then yeah, I mean, we're not gonna talk about it, but I do want to say this is really weird. So like there was this weird thing of where Daniel's daughter didn't know who to like root for because like Miguel was on one side, although I think she was like not happy with Miguel because of teen issues at that point, and then Robbie was on the other side, you know, the son, and but also like her best friend who's like supposed to be like, oh, I'm not popular, I'm not pretty type friend,
Yeah,
is in there as well. But I did want to bring her up because she was written out of the show in season 3. So like
yeah. I remember her Twitter. She was like very
she
upset.
was very mad about it because it seemed like Netflix decision for that.
That's a bullshit decision because I felt um I think my favorite part was like, you can't be a girl and you can't fight. And she totally like, UFC some guy, like throw like a throw. And so I felt that she was important. And then I feel like at some point she started being like, there was always a rivalry
Yeah.
in other seasons we'll talk about, but I felt like at one point she's like, you know what? We gotta stop. And so I was not happy she was in season 3. Um,
Yeah, they kind of replaced her with another girl who was more aggressive, and I think that's what they wanted. It seems like more of a, I don't know, for lack of a better term, business decision of getting rid of someone who is supposed to be. She's supposed to be like the geeky, like nerdy kid who like no one likes, but only what's her face likes, and so instead they get this other kid who is skinnier and all this other stuff. It seems like they're getting like, it seems like they know what they're doing. Like they're trying to get like, oh, we can get rid of this person. Let's get new eye candy essentially for the kids watching the show. And it's just, I don't know. I don't like that. Just write the show as it should be and just like keep the characters because all the characters are good, but I
yeah,
don't know. Like it just felt like something was missing a little bit in season 3.
I will say when you were talking about Hawk, I love his transition. And we'll talk about it more in the other seasons, but I love his transitions between season 1, season 2, and then season 3. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like almost, you know, really nerdy, then became Hawk. It's just a huge difference between all 3 seasons, and he's one of
Yeah.
my favorite characters. But, like, at the tournament, when he tried to do an illegal move, Johnny got on him, which is not Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
That's not who they were, you know? And so, Cobra Kai ended up winning the tournament, barely, and Miguel won. Miguel was the winner. And so to me, it wasn't like, oh, this was like bad because Cobra Kai won, but it made Cobra Kai look good because Johnny was telling him like, I remember in the dojo they were talking about afterwards, we don't fight, we don't do illegal moves.
Yeah, because
But
like it used to be strike hard, strike first, or strike first, strike hard, no mercy or whatever. But like I want to say he took off the no mercy part off of the wall
yeah,
even too because he's like we have to play by the rules. Like you can still be good at karate and like not kill someone essentially.
yeah. Now I have to ask you, Alex, at the end, there's kind of a plot twist to set up for the next season. What did you think of that plot twist? I think you know what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to think if I do know what you're talking
It's at
about.
the very, very end, and Johnny walks out the dojo. It's at night, and he's like, "Who's there?" And then you see the back, and he turns around, and it's Kreese
Was that
smoking
season
a big.
2?
That was season 1, I'm pretty sure.
I mean season 1 right at the end. Okay.
because he was in all of season 2 and 3.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
How did you feel about that?
I thought it was really cool because I really do like Kreese a lot, and just to see him just show up all of a sudden out of the darkness, it's like good. This is needed. Um, but it seems like, at least in the beginning, that he doesn't really want anything to do with Kreese for a bit.
No,
Um,
no.
but yeah,
I think
I like
I
Kreese a lot. Like Kreese is a really good character just in general. To so yeah, to see an older version of him, and like, oh boy, does he look old?
but you know what though? He's still in really good shape though.
Yeah,
For as old as he is. I think the thing is the actor that plays him, he's like, everyone hates me because I was Crease, and then other roles I've done, I play a bad guy. I was
yeah,
the guy that basically threw Rambo under the bus in Rambo 2. Uh, but he's like literally the nicest guy ever if you meet him. Um, but I think that this would be a good point to jump into season 2, where you do see the that Kreese is easing his way into something, you know,
yeah,
and as we talked about in end of season 1 and season 2, Kreese is like, there's something going on. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he's like, I just want to teach. I want to have something, and I don't have anything anymore. I'm living in a homeless shelter or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's still something you cannot trust him with at all, and that's what you see in season 2. Uh, him and Johnny going back and forth over stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but season 2 starts, and the character that Alex was talking about is brought apart. She's in now. She starts to join. She joins Cobra Kai, uh, and she's definitely a Cobra Kai, like old school. You know, believes her rules. Um, that is old school Cobra Kai. I mean, literally there. Um, and the season starts. I think the best thing is when things start going sour between Chris and Johnny, you start seeing people like Miguel and stuff. Miguel and stuff like going, we shouldn't be doing this. This isn't right.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things of where, like, this is the season, even season 3 a little bit too, like where the group splits in half.
Absolutely.
Um just because, like, yeah, there are certain Cobra Kai people who are instigators with trouble, and just like start to like try to like wreck places, and like I don't know, like they wreck the Miyagi Do, like the back of that place that Miyagi used to live at. And yeah, I don't know. There's a lot more drama in this season, so like I feel like it's kind of forgettable in that aspect. Like there's a
Yes,
lot
there's
of teen drama, and I mean, we didn't even really talk about earlier, like the last season, where like, because I don't really like Robbie. I don't like him as a plot device. He's just kind of there to just have another issue, a reason why they can all hate each other.
right.
But like Robbie like snuck his way into LaRusso Motors or whatever, and pretended that he was in college so he could work there and get close to him, because like, oh, this is my dad's enemy. I want to get close to him and be friends with him because like that's my dad will hate this. Um, and then just realize like, oh, I do like this person. This person's really nice. And then like there's so much flip floppiness in this
Yeah.
show, and with the like until season 3, I will say, um, that like the show is great. Don't get me wrong, the show is great, but like there's a lot of just stupid stuff in here where I'm just like, come on, you can do better than this. But I'm loving seeing all these characters together, so like I can't be
I,
super mad.
do you know what it reminds me of? It's kind of like Harry Potter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you watch the first 2, and then like, oh my god, these are so cute, best friends forever. And 3 hits, and it just goes downhill with the darkness. I
Yeah.
feel season 2, groups started getting divided. uh, Daniel gets a couple kids now, and so you're starting to see the divided line there. And to me, I liked season 2 much better.
Mm-hmm.
There's more action. I'm anyone knows me, I'm a big martial arts guy. Um, season 2, the fight choreography was much better.
Yeah.
The only times I thought it was really, really good in season 1 was a tournament. I mean, you have teens doing martial arts in a tournament, and you got to make it look good. And but there's more fights now between the two groups in this season. You know, they wrecked Miyagi's place, and so there had to be issues with that, and so they were fighting over that. Um, I think at this point, Robbie's starting to kind of date Daniel's daughter as well,
Yeah,
and
and there's also like where Johnny is trying to date Miguel's mom in this part too. Like he's trying to get closer to her.
I will say this is very adult because she did spend the night, didn't she?
Yeah,
I'm
she
pretty
did.
sure she did.
Or the
Yeah,
afternoon or something. Yeah.
I don't know, but they were in the
Yeah,
room.
and then the grandma is just like loving it.
Yeah,
Like she only speaks Spanish. I was like, this is great. I do like
um,
them.
I I do. I think they're great characters, but two was like I felt like two was a roller coaster ride. Like there were episodes I really loved, and then there was like I gotta watch it because I gotta get the story.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get the story, and so two was difficult for me to watch.
Yep.
I don't think the rivalry back and forth bullshit was just like it got old. It really did. With this new girl that's a really big instigator for the other.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I really like the most is in two, and even in three, you got to see Hawk, like who's been a big Cobra Kai guy for a while, and now he's starting to see stuff. In
Yeah.
season 2, my favorite thing was is they had those bullies. They used to bully him,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to fight day one. I'm pretty sure it's season 2, right?
Yeah, yeah, because this is the same time when Daniel's trying to get people too, and he's like, all right, paint the fence, and they're like, this is dumb, and then they leave.
Yeah, I remember the one scene where I think something Johnny wasn't there or something, so Kreese was working the dojo, and he
Yeah.
had to fight, right? And so that one kid that used to pick on him all the time,
Yeah, the one
he's
that
like, "Are you
dated
serious?"
the daughter. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, like Hawk just tears him up. It looked like Fight Club to me. It
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah, because there are no rules. And then like um Kreese is like no mercy. Like he was like wanting him to basically kill that kid.
Yeah, and then finally he stopped. He did. I don't know if Miguel stopped him or somebody stopped him
Yeah.
or what, but I mean, this is where you start seeing Kreese because Johnny's not always there.
Yeah, because
This is
Johnny's too busy trying to date Carmen.
Yeah. So you start seeing Kreese, like when Johnny's there, he acts one way,
Hmm.
and he's always trying to instigate Daniel and him, like instigate them
Yeah.
or get his mind off stuff. And then he's running the school now, so he's teaching these kids all the bad stuff he taught Johnny. This is where you're like, because at first you do feel bad for Kreese about what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, maybe he changed, right? Nope. He is still a douchebag,
Yep.
and he is still teaching kids lethal techniques, or not mercy. But that's the part of the season like I really really like. Seeing those scenes made me like it more. But season 2 was kind of hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
Season 2 also is the one that had the plot device at the end where I mean there's a lot of things that we're obviously just glossing over. Like I'm kind of looking at Wikipedia as well just to try to see like things that we may have forgot or just not even mentioning like
Sure.
but the the part that I hate the most and it's like epic and like it's funny and cool or whatever as well is the finale of season 2, that big old fight in the school. It's just so ridiculous. um
Okay. you have to laugh at the scene where the teacher's like, "We got to do something," and the other guy's like literally older. He's like, in his 30s.
Yeah, he's like a he's, I don't know, like a police officer or like a, I don't know, security for
Yeah,
there.
and they're like, "You gotta do something," and he starts beating up Daniel's kids, and you're sitting there like, "This is like totally illegal."
Yeah, because I think he puts like on his headband too or
Yes, he does it.
something, and he just starts
Uh,
doing it since he is a yeah, since he's a Cobra Kai guy.
yeah, because he wanted to be all these years ago, and they quit. So that was pretty cool. I will say, like in a school, right? If that was to go down like that in real life, dude, there'd have been like police have been there in like minutes. I mean, I understand how teachers are like, nope. I felt that was a little bit much,
Not only
and
that, like there's so much. They're like fighting on the stairs, and like there were so many floors and just open stairwells like that. There's no way a school looks like that. Like there's no way. Like that's too much budget
yeah,
for a school. um,
yeah, um,
but like yeah, like there's the big part like near the end of this, like where they're all fighting and stuff, and then Robbie does something, and it causes Miguel to fall down a huge flight of stairs and break his back essentially. And then it just kind of ends a little bit.
it was weird because at the end of the first one, there's obviously the big thing of John Kreese.
Yeah,
This one just kind of showed Robbie in the hospital, and it was like, boom, end.
yeah,
That was it.
yeah, because yeah, Miguel's in the hospital, and Robbie like runs away like immediately, and now he's like on the run for season
Yeah, because
3.
they're looking for him, and because he's gonna have to go to they want to talk to him about what happened. I mean, technically, you almost killed a kid.
And then
I
the other girl goes to juvie as well, the new girl.
Yeah, I think right after that, when you see Miguel in the hospital in season two, Johnny feels awful. I mean, he literally feels awful. And he's like, well, how did this happen? Because in his mind, this is not stuff he's teaching. He's not teaching him. And I know before in the season, he told him, he's like, we don't need to worry about Daniel LaRusso. Let's worry about us.
Yep.
And he in his mind, he's like, how did this happen? And you feel bad for him because he's literally trying to get his life back together. It's really starting to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
He's got students. He's making good money, and he was dating Miguel's mom, which that shit's over now. That's done.
Yeah.
She's like, bye. Um, and I think that's now. Quick question: YouTube had season one and season two, correct?
Yep.
And then Netflix took over for season three.
Yep.
How crazy is that? Because when you think about it, what if? Because I don't think YouTube was going to do season three because they weren't making any money. So what would have happened if Netflix would have never picked it up? There would have been no season three, and you'd have been at a cliffhanger. That's the
Yeah.
goal right there.
Yeah. And then I feel like the show would be less loved for that, honestly, because like I don't know, season 1 is really good. Season 2 does too much, and I don't like it as much, but it still is really good again because you see all those characters doing things together. But yeah, just having season 2 and then the cliffhanger, like yeah, that'd be horrible. That wouldn't be a fun time there. Like I don't know. Like, how did you like the ending of this? So we kind of talked about briefly earlier, where he doesn't know any technology and stuff, and he does things, and he friends Facebook friend requests Allie, the girl from the first movie, and at the end of this, like he throws his phone away, and then he gets accepted. She accepts the friend request on Facebook.
Yeah, I think it was setting it up. And when we talk about season three had a ton of like, in my mind, huge cameo of people from other movies. Like I when I found out who was going to be there, wholly threw me off guard. But that's a good way to end it. I love. Now here's the only problem: if you are not confident you're going to get another season, that's a dick move. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
You got Miguel in the hospital, and then you get this alley thing. You're like, holy shit. But yeah, I thought that was really good. It was a good way to end it. And then they were in a hiatus for a little while, and then that's when Netflix like, hey guys, we bought it, and we're gonna have it on Netflix now.
Yeah, because
And
that aired on in 2019, and then yeah, 2021 is when the new one showed up.
yeah, and so it was very quick. They got everyone together to record it. Uh, but season three is a weird one. I mean, we can go ahead and jump into that. So season three, Alex and I have already talked about. There's a lot of backstory stuff that happens in season three.
Yeah.
Uh, but you start off with Miguel's like he's up and he's talking, but he's not walking, and they're worried about that he may never walk again.
Yeah.
Um, Johnny's son's on the run. And I know eventually in one of the episodes they get him to turn himself in and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I mean, it's rough. It's not a good. It's very dark. At this point, Johnny is just trying to get with Miguel. John Kreese is basically taking over all of Cobra Kai, and I'm pretty sure that happened at the end of season two,
Yep.
where the back room where John Kreese rented the back room, and he's doing his Cobra Kai in the same area, and his Cobra Kai is literally old school, no mercy,
Yep.
and that's how it ends. So now you've got that. It's divided. Cobra Kai is ruthless. I mean, they are just giant bullies, and they're doing like illegal stuff. They're doing bad stuff, and they're literally targeting Daniel's people. You know,
Yeah.
they they blame they blame everything that happened to Miguel on Daniel's team.
That and like yeah, Miguel can't do anything. He can't really defend himself. And then Sam, that's her name. It's like what's her name? Yeah, his daughter has like PTSD from the whole thing, from the whole fight. So like whenever she's being like bullied or whatever, she just kind of just like curls up in a ball or just like runs away
Yeah,
because she just can't handle like the whole thing, like that whole fight and where Miguel almost died. Um, it's like yeah, she can't do anything about that. Like, and like you said, yeah, Kreese is doing all of his things, and um, I do like this season a lot more because you do see, like you said, a lot of cameos. We see Daniel go to Okinawa and
it was awesome, by the
yeah,
way.
go there, and he's like, okay, I'm looking for this village, and they're like, oh, this, all right, and it's just a shopping mall now.
Yep.
Like that's all it is, this old village that like you remember like from the second movie, and like it's very, I don't know, just feudal. But like now it's like no, now it's a shopping mall, and you do get to see what's her name, is it Yuki, like what's her,
Yukio?
Yukio,
Or,
Yukiko, maybe, or I'm gonna check. But like, yeah, you see her, and then you also see what's his face,
Chosen.
Chosen, and Daniel learns some new moves from Chosen, and I think that's really cool. Like learning new Miyagi Do that he has never known before, because
I think
Miyagi has always just wanted Daniel to just know karate for defense only, whereas
right.
like over there, like karate was defense, but like it was also like it was life. So like yeah, you would fight to the death, so you would have to know things to actually be offensive.
Right. I think my favorite part is when like it's him and his ex girlfriend, and they're sitting there and Chosen walks up and he's got this mean look on his face.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I get you a drink. And he goes, no, I'll get it. It's like, I get it. And he's like very angry and grumpy.
Mm-hmm.
And so he meets him, and that's when he shows him this technique. And as they're walking down from this mountain and he's learned this technique or whatever, they have this conversation of, and I think to me that was the most meaningful conversation of, after that, I was a wreck. I did, and he changed his ways, and him, Daniel are okay. Um, those were okay. The John Kreese stories were ones where they were okay. I mean, you got to see him being John Kreese was bullied before he went to the military.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason he is the way he is because he was held at they were captured and he had to, fight or die.
Yeah.
And I think those are the reason why he is the way he is, but it doesn't excuse him to be the way he is.
No.
Um, and there are several fights in here with them. One of them, one of the people, I think it was Hawk, broke one of the guy's arms.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, do it, and he did it. And um, you see Hawk. This is where you see Hawk really transition. Like, what did I do?
Well, because it was his previous best friend too, right? Like it was the
Yeah,
nerdy kid, the other nerdy kid. So, yeah, like this is when you see Hawk again, yeah, like how you said, like yeah, he's starting to regret Cobra Kai. He is really one of the first ones, because besides Miguel, who like is obviously still recuperating and stuff, like Miguel joined Johnny's karate. Like he didn't join Cobra Kai, and so this is the one where you see it more, especially this season, where like there are two different Cobra Kais. Man, what they call them?
they were like, it was something funny too. Like, I will have to look it up, but like, it was cool because Johnny's like, we're not gonna do this anymore. We're gonna do this. But I think he didn't want to break the guy's arm, but he did, and now he's starting to. What is it called?
Eagle Fang Karate.
That's what it is. But you can tell that Hawk's like, I didn't want to do this.
Yeah.
And they were having some party. I don't know what event it was for. They were having a party. It was Daniel's people from Miyagi-Do, and they were at Daniel's house. Daniel was at a party or something like that.
This
And
is
he was
another
the
one of
same.
those stupid things that I just hate. Like feels very staged and scripted. Where
Yeah,
like, how are these kids just allowed to just come in? Why aren't any of these kids calling the police? Like there's a lot of things. I'm just like, there's no way this would have happened the way it did.
yeah, but I think this is a good fight because this is when uh you know Hawk is like, no, I'm not doing this anymore, and he fights back against Cobra Kai.
Yeah, and
Uh,
everyone's surprised and happy. He's like, "Good to have you back" or something. And
yeah, and Hawk's a good fighter in this series,
mhm.
uh, but I think it's definitely like hard because you're seeing all these things, you're seeing the two different groups. Johnny's like, screw it, I'm gonna do my own thing,
Yeah,
and it's not very successful. It's in the park,
yeah,
and Miguel's just now starting to walk.
yeah.
Um,
So he can't really do karate yet, but
yeah,
like, um, Johnny's trying to baby him and like be like, "It's okay, you can stop. It's fine." Just because he really cares about him, but he also cares about what Carmen would think of him if he strains just makes it worse for Miguel. Um, and like Miguel is hating that he can't do karate, essentially. Like he's really upset about that he has to do it, take it easy, and he has to do all this other stuff. And um, like eventually he starts doing things again, but like it does take a lot of time, which I do like. I really did like to see. I did like seeing that where like throughout the season, like little by little, he was getting better again. He wasn't 100%, but
right.
he was better.
I don't think the one thing we talked about was Robbie in juvenile hall
Mm-hmm.
was not good.
Mm-hmm.
He was being jumped often, and he would get into fights. And now you see him have a hate for not only Daniel, but for his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets out, because Kreese is literally the worst person ever, this character, uses that to get him to train with him. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like Star Wars, Emperor Palpatine
Mm-hmm.
with Anakin. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
he's like all these things are going on in his brain. He can't help it. And so what's he do? Corrupts them. And so I know Johnny goes to confront Kreese, and his son's there, and he's fighting Kreese. It gets kind of out of control at one point, and his son attacks him, and he accidentally knocks him out.
Yeah.
But then he did the dumbest thing. He turned his back on Kreese, and it gets really ugly until Daniel shows up and is pissed because he's like, "You sent him to my house." Now, I will tell you that fight between Daniel and Kreese was a long time coming.
Yep.
That is the one of the best fights of the whole season in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
especially when Kreese is like, "You can't do this defense stuff all night," and he's like, "Yep, I know," and he starts using.
The new stuff.
But
Yeah.
the thing that was the best was when he started doing the different moves. Did you notice that's the same move from 3? At the very end fight when he's fighting the one guy and he
Hmm.
needed to get 1 point, the whole hand moving thing,
Mm-hmm.
some of that was that, but then he could have killed Kreese. He almost did. Uh, and then his daughter showed up and was like, "No," but he could have.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite part is Johnny comes out and they have the head nod, like, "Okay." Um, and then it shows, them working together, which I would never have called that in a million years. Um, so I, I thought this was the better of the seasons. There was less of the who's dating who drama.
Yeah, it was actually focused on the original characters, and I like that a
Exactly.
lot because like even with like Daniel's wife like gets a restraining order put on her from Kreese because she walked in and was like, "Hey, you need to step off of these kids and like you need to do this because like I think she technically like slapped him or something, and that's what caused the actual restraining order. And she's like, "He didn't touch him." It's like I slapped him. What?
Um, but yeah, I still love that last fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he used the new techniques. But yeah, when they end and they show them working together, it should be an interesting season 4. What were your overall thoughts on season 3 compared to the other seasons?
Um, I still don't like a whole lot of the kid stuff, but like
Right.
it was done fine. Um, having I don't know because like season one I still like a lot, but season three seems more focused. Um,
Yeah.
and like it knows what it's trying to do later on instead of just being like this is a season. Oh, this is a season. Um, you can see what it's building upon and actually trying to build towards. So I do like this season a lot. It probably goes. I don't. I forget how we did the rankings in the movies, but like it's like one three two for me probably for season wise. Or 3-1-2. Like 2 is obviously the last one, but like 1 and 3 are pretty on par with each other. Because I just really do like seeing Kreese being Kreese, and I like seeing um Johnny and Daniel working together longer than just a episode because each season they had an episode where they're just like, hey, we're buddies, we're having fun, we're good,
Yeah.
and then something stupid happens and it's just like, whoa, we're enemies now. It's like, no, stop that. Like this is all really stupid and like a kid's show at that point.
I think the crazy part is Allie did show up in the season as
Yeah.
well.
And
And
she's divorced too, right?
yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
but he was still technically look, he was still in love with he still had thoughts about Miguel's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so like he wanted to go out with her, but he still was thinking about Miguel's mom.
Yeah.
And so that was a difficult thing. Now, going into season 4 that's coming out, this month, I'm sure you've seen the trailers. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you saw Terry Silver.
Yep.
How does that what do you think? in your mind is going to happen?
I'm really not sure. I don't know how Terry's doing with his life right now, because like the last time we saw him, is that he was trying to be a big old entrepreneur and shell out Cobra Kai everywhere, and everyone hated him. So I don't know if he is still successful or not. I don't know if he still has all his money or not, because like that was the whole point of him in season 3 or in movie 3 was that, hey, I have money still. Can you lend me some money? Sure, yeah, I can lend you money. Um, like that was the whole point of season 3 or yeah, movie 3 is that Terry helps out Kreese. Um,
Totally all revenge. That's all
yeah,
that movie is.
yeah, and now again, it's gonna be that again, I think, or they could turn it around on us, and maybe Kreese is on our side, or not Kreese. Maybe Terry is on our side. Like it's possible that could be a thing that happens because he could just be like, I'm tired of this stupid stuff. Like let's just it's karate and it's kids. Stop.
I want to see Terry Silver fight Daniel or Johnny. That's what I want.
I want a 2v2 match, just them
Oh
all,
God, that'd be
or like a
awesome.
free for all.
That'd be awesome. And I think, I think the big thing was for me is Terry Silver in 3 was so like, oh, Daniel, I'll help you out. I'm here to
Mm-hmm.
help you. And really what they were doing, they were breaking him down. They were
Very
breaking,
manipulative. Like
yep.
if he does do the same for this season, like I feel like yeah, if he is the villain again, he could show up and like just mess up Robbie or someone again. Like just be like, it's okay, I can help you, and just like completely turn him into a machine, like a killing machine.
Yeah. And I think that's where it gets scary because Robbie already had skill from Daniel. And then he was learning from Kreese. So now he knows the things that Daniel's teaching some of these kids. Daniel showed him a lot, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it was weird to see him kind of totally flip because, you know, but I'm interested to see that. But I also think how cool would it be if Mike Barnes showed up in season 4?
Yeah, yeah, that would be cool.
I mean, really, after Terry Silver, there's no one. I mean, there was rumors that Hilary Swank was going to show up,
Yeah, I think
which is
she's too
weird.
busy.
Yeah, I think she was like, "Look, I did that next Karate Kid movie. It was really not a
No one
good
liked
thing."
it. Yeah, why
Yeah,
do it? But like at the same time, I think people would really enjoy seeing her, regardless if the movie tanked or not. Like I think that would be good to be in it.
absolutely. I mean, not everyone that's shown up has been any terms of fighting at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited for this season. And now Netflix is just going to roll it all out. They're not going to do episode weeklies, are they?
No, they should just be doing it all out because that's what they did last year,
I know there's been a couple where they've been like,
or they
"Oh,
did
we're
half and
only."
half, maybe.
Yeah, I don't like the.
In my
I'd rather just
opinion.
get it all at once.
No, yeah, that's what they did. Okay, so last year, yeah, they all released January 1st of 2021. And that
Yeah,
was 10 episodes for season 3.
yeah. So I'm hoping they do the same here. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to watch the season, and
Mm-hmm.
it's at the right time because we'll still kind of be on kind of break. It's right before New Year's, so I'm excited to kind of see what happens with it. I think they're going to bring Terry in, and they're going to kind of fool us. Oh yeah, we're just trying to do this. We're trying to do this, and then it's going to be a total lie. You're going to be trying to screw everybody over, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed. Like I don't know what's gonna happen in this show anymore, honestly. Like season 3 threw me for a loop as well, just because like it was so different, but for the better. Um yeah, I'm very excited to see. Like, I mean, I keep complaining about this show a lot, but again, I really do enjoy it. It's
Yeah,
just that there's just a lot of stupidness within it, but it's dumb and it's fun. Like that's all you could ask for.
I, I
Like,
mean, I mean, my brother is a huge Star Wars or not Star Wars, Star Trek fan.
mm-hmm.
Um, And to hear some of him and his friends talk when they talk about it, they love the shows. It's just like these little things here and there. I mean, the only difference was is like it's like little nitpicky things, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes, and we'll see. I think they got signed for not only season 4 but season 5 and maybe 6.
Yeah, I'm not
I know,
sure. I know
I
at
know they,
least the two, I think.
yeah, which I I know people hate Netflix. I get it,
Yeah.
but if Netflix wouldn't have grabbed the show, I don't think there would have been a third season or a fourth season. You
Yeah,
know?
I agree. So thank you, Netflix, for doing something right and grabbing this.
Oh, right. Yeah. Most of the time Netflix are arrogant anyway, but this is a good thing.
Yeah.
So wow, look at that. I think that kind of wraps up our Cobra Kai show. Um, did you have anything else or
Yeah, I guess again, like these episodes, like we're currently on vacation and stuff right now, so um just know that there isn't as much interactiveness. Like if you want something on the show, it won't be on the show this year. It will be
yeah.
next year. So I think I don't think I've said that in any of these episodes that we've pre-recorded. These are all pre-recorded.
Yeah, they're
Um,
pre-recorded.
but yeah, just kind of an FYI. Like, yeah, if you're like, oh, why didn't they talk about this big news that just happened? Well, because we pre-recorded like 10 episodes. So I'm sorry. but but yeah,
Yeah.
we have some good stuff coming for you. So yeah, just look out, check out our Facebook and Twitter and stuff, and all of that when it all comes out. But until next time, sweep the leg.
I was gonna say that. Damn it. Well, I'll just say get at it.
Get at it.